Hey everybody, welcome back to Coding Out Loud, where we build real projects rather than contrived examples. And today we're hopefully going to be wrapping up the marketplace on Stub Squad. Obviously, we've been working on this all week, and my self-imposed deadline is today. And so we basically want to make sure that people can list their spots, and that'll help drive traffic to the website because we have not invested a single penny into marketing yet. So hopefully once we do that, there will be enough of a draw to get people coming back. So we've got quite a list of things to do today. Basically, starting with, I want to update the warning when you go to contact an existing listing to basically say that your full name will be sent with the email address. Because right now the notice only says the email address, and in doing some testing the other day, I realized that we're also sending the full name. So we want to make sure that the person who's about to contact the admin realizes their name is going to be exposed as well. We also want to write some tests to make sure that the contact and edit links only show up for the applicable listings. So for example, the edit link only shows up for the admin, and that the contact link only shows up for logged in users. I believe this is already done, but I also want to make sure that the actual links are showing up correctly. The next thing I want to do is I want to rename the TicketSeasonSearch class to TicketSeasonMarketplaceListing. I think this is a lot more grammatically accurate, and it's easier to understand what the thing is that we're looking at. The other thing we want to do is when a ticket season is deleted, we want to make sure that delete actually cascades to the marketplace listing. And because they're soft deleted, we have to hard code that in the ticket season model. Again, not difficult. We just want to make sure that that's happening. And then we also have to add soft deletes to that listing as well, so that if we need to recover the ticket season, the marketplace listing can come back as well. So there's some other things that we need to do as far as when things are being displayed on the marketplace. So for example, we only want to display the listing if the ticket season hasn't started. So even if they haven't removed the listing, if the season has started, we can assume that they're not going to look for any more people because they won't be able to be part of the draft. So we basically want to make sure that that those are being hidden and not included. So we basically want to create an event that when the season is marked as complete, it also marks the listing as inactive. Now the listing can be reactivated if the season is marked as incomplete again. Let's just bring in this to listing. Can be reactivated, but is not done automatically. And so the reason for that is if you say the season is complete and you start divvying out the tickets, we don't want to just assume that the listing is coming back, because maybe you just maybe you just made a mistake and you're going to recomplete it. So we're not going to make the listing immediately pop up again. And again, we just want to make sure that the marketplace is set to ignore inactive listings. I believe that's the case right now, because I'm pretty sure in the controller, we're just pulling we're doing like ticket season search right now, an active and then get. So that should work. But again, I haven't looked at this. So these are just a bunch of notes that I've taken out of my brain and just put it on here. So some of the stuff might be super easy. We also want to make sure that if someone has contacted the admin already, that they can't do it again. So we want to have some kind of like contact list, like ticket season marketplace listing contact. And the reason for that is that we don't want to have the ability for someone to just continually spam the admin, right? Like if they've sent their interest check once, the admin should have the ability to just ignore that email and never have to worry about it again, right? Like that person shouldn't have to be concerned with this person who's interested continually spamming their inbox. So basically, we just want to have some kind of listing that says once they've sent out the request, we add some kind of record that that's happened. And then if they try and send another one, we will just kind of silently ignore it, or we'll say something like, you've already contacted this admin, please wait for them to reach out if they decide to, or something like that, right? We also want to add a disclaimer page to the contact flow that says we are not responsible for what goes on between our members. We don't want people to get scammed. Like, so I'm thinking about like a situation where an admin, someone fakes saying that they have these season tickets and they rip off another user. basically we don't want to be considered responsible for that. We are just the marketplace. It's up to you to do your own due diligence to say, does this person have their tickets? Are they a legitimate person? Blah, 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 right? Like, we are not responsible. We are just facilitating the initial communication. And after that, it's all up to you. All this communication is happening directly through direct emails between the two parties. Like, we're not even being involved in that back and forth. So all we're doing is giving these people a place to find each other. We're not going to be responsible for what they do after the fact, right? Because we have no way, at least right now, to verify that the admin has these tickets. If at some point we have, or we get access to, let's say, the Ticketmaster API, and we can do our own validation, then we might do something, some kind of like verified tickets or something, like some kind of marker saying like this person has verified that their tickets are legitimate. And then we might take a little more responsibility there. But right now we don't have a way to validate those tickets. So it's kind of like buyer beware. The other thing we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be adding the purchase flow to allow the admin, like the season admin, to place that listing. The only kind of background work I've done so far on that is I've signed up for an account on Lemon Squeezy, and I've got the API key. I have not installed the package. I've just added the API key to our .env file just so that it's already there and I don't have to hide my screen. But other than that, it's basically it should be like the account is good to go, but we'll still have to build that flow. So we have a ton of work to do today. I hope we can get it all done. My goal is to work for at least the next 4 to 6 hours on this. I don't have anything else going on. I might get hungry at some point, but if I do get hungry, my goal is to basically just put the stream on pause, just hide my screen for 15 minutes while I eat something quick and then come back. I'm not going to take a ton of time, and I'm not going to kind of disconnect and then come back. So I guess with all that said, I guess we can get started. So let's head over to Alacrity, and we will say the marketplace item, I think, is where that contact button is. Marketplace item. Let's hide that. Be aware that doing so will reveal your full name and email address to them. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so we can mark that one off already. I like the short ones like that. Okay, so second one, write tests to make sure that contact and edit links only show up for the applicable listings. Okay, so we can close this and let's go to the marketplace listing test. Yeah. And so it can only be accessed by the admin of the season. No, this is not the one we want. We want marketplace item test. Do we not have one for just the item itself? Oops. Marketplace test. Okay. Does not show the contact button to the admin. Okay. Do we have one that shows the edit button to the admin? I don't think we do. Okay, so let's say it only shows the edit button to the admin of that season. Let's say paste. And let's be a little more explicit about what this is going to see. So we're going to say assert C, and we want it to say, we want to search for the marketplace edit. Okay, so it's not showing up there. Why is it not showing up? Assert C, marketplace edit. This, is that not what it's called? This search. Oh, I think it's marketplace listing. Yeah. Okay. Search. So I just want to make sure that it's looking for the right thing first. Contains, pardon me, Stubs God season listing. Okay. So let's go back up here to where it would be showing. Here are the groups that are looking. Okay, so we are the admin. This search. Right. Okay, so let's go into this. We're looking for the season. Okay, so close that. Search season. Okay, so now missing parameter season. Oh. Missing parameter. Am I not seeing that right here? Missing parameter season. Am I not typing that correctly? Marketplace season. Season is this search season. Oh, it's, I think the relationship name is ticket season. Okay, now it works. Okay. And so we're just going to say acting as user factory create. I want to yank this. We want to assert we don't see that. Okay, cool. Does not show the contact button to the admin. Only shows the contact button to logged in and email verified user. Okay, so those are both done. Check for a specific URL in the case we're doing that, and then add a data contact. Okay, so that was the other thing that I wanted to do. So right now, what we're really like, this is a really naive test that it's just looking for the word contact. Technically, that kind of works, but what I really would like to do is if I go to the marketplace item, the blade, in the edit field, what I want to do is I just want to have like a, oops, not the contact, not the edit field, the contact one. What I want is just a data property that just, it basically has something a little more unique that we can basically say like item ID. And we'll put that on the other version of the contact button as well, wherever it is here, contact here. Okay. And so the reason we're doing that is there's like this data contact really doesn't do anything, but it gives us something we can search for a little more intelligently. And so what we can say is instead of this contact here, so it's like, we'll say asserts, no, we want to look for data, data contact equals, how do we want to do this? Then we will say, what is this season, no, this search ID. Okay, so now what this is really looking for is this string here, right? So in theory, this should still work, but it should give us a little more. Okay, so it's not working. What is it not finding? It only shows the contact. Failed asserting that blah, blah, blah contains. Oh, okay. So it is. Oh, okay. So let's go back to the listing. Where is it actually showing up? Marketplace, the blog. looking for. Okay, so marketplace item. Okay, so the item ID should be it should be the marketplace listing. So why is this? Oh, okay. So it's because we want to look for the escaped or unescaped version of this, which is what that true does. So, or it should. Okay. So what is it looking for? Scroll to the bottom here again. Data contact. Yeah. So it's I never remember if it's true or false. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so now it's searching. It's that test is passing. So that's good. Okay, so go back to Notion here. Add data contact. Okay, so that's done. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is it's going to be a little bit painful, but that's okay. We want to rename the ticket season search relationship to ticket season marketplace listing, just to make it a little more obvious. Because ticket season search, like, yes, it is a searched thing, but it's not the thing. The search is like the action, it's not the noun. So a marketplace listing is definitely more descriptive as a noun. So this is going to be a bit painful, but that's okay. So we're just going to go close all these, and we're going to say ticket search. Okay. So number one, we're going to change this to marketplace listing. And we are also going to go rename it. Ticket season search. Marketplace listing. Okay. Okay, and so we can close that. We can search for the migration. Create ticket season searches table. This should be ticket season marketplace listings. Oops. Okay, ticket season searches. We want to replace this one as well. Marketplace listings. Yep. Okay, what do we else we got? We got a search factory. Ticket season marketplace listing factory. Yep. Okay, those are fine. And let's go to rename this. So it's under is it database? Yeah, database factories. Ticket season search factory. So we want to call this ticket season marketplace listing factory. Okay. And now let's, at this point, we'll just run our tests and see what fails and just go and rename things as we need to here. Yeah. Okay. So marketplace listing test. Whoops. Marketplace listing test. Okay. And so, where are we doing the search? Prompts for buy and price, blah, blah, blah. Ticket season factory create. Okay, so that's got to be, oops. Okay, so here, ticket season, marketplace listing. Season marketplace listing. Okay. Okay, so where else is it looking? Marketplace listings. This is going to be this season search. Ticket season. Season marketplace listing. And we're going to call this marketplace listing. It's going to be painful, but that's why we do this in development and not in production. Okay. So this is going to be ticket season marketplace listing. The season search. Marketplace listing. Okay, so those should all be updated now. Okay. Season search, this can be updated. Marketplace, oops, marketplace listing. Cool. Let's go back to our tests, rerun, and see what else fails. Cool. Okay, marketplace listing test. So back here, so we want to say marketplace, where is the search? Okay. Marketplace listing. Let's see what else we got. So we have 45 failed tests right now. Let's see how many we fix. 43. Okay. Ticket season search test. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna have to make ticket season search test. Oh, and we're actually going to have to, oh no, okay. Ticket season search test. Yep. Definitely gonna have to rename this one. Tests feature ticket season search. So this is gonna be marketplace listing test. Hide that, and then we're gonna look for all of the instances of this. Season marketplace listing, yep. What happened there? Try this again. Marketplace listing. Why does that keep doing that? Okay, we'll do it manually. Ticket season marketplace listing. Okay. Then we won't have to do the import. Season marketplace listing. Okay. Now let's rerun our tests here and see how many pass. Cannot use blah, 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 because the name is already in use on line 5. Okay, so we're down to 43 tests. How many we're down to now? Let's say 41. 32. Okay, that's good. Okay, so ticket season test is the next one. Let's close some of these. Ticket season test. So yeah, this one's gonna have to change. Ticket season marketplace listing. Marketplace listing. Yep. Okay. What else we got? Admin join season test. Join season test. Okay, so which line was that? 203. On admin season. Okay, so admin season 203. So we want to update this to ticket season marketplace listing. Okay, and here I see an instance of it too, marketplace listing. Okay, let's rerun our tests, see what else is failing. 32. There are ways to test a sitemap XML, all the content there without logging in to make sure all are 200. Okay, so that's actually a good question. There probably is. I'm just trying to think. You could probably... So the way that the XML package that I use, it's from Spassy, and so all it does is spider your site. So you could probably hook in to that same functionality somehow to basically, or at least use the logic to validate all that stuff. But so the way the sitemap is generated, it's all automated anyways. And so it should, like if it's, if you have the sitemap, I mean, at the end of the day, you could probably just like ingest the sitemap using like there's a sitemap package that I was using for thoc.gg when I was building that. And so you could probably just read in the sitemap using that package and then just do like a for each kind of thing and do in your test, just do like get the instance of the loop kind of thing and just see if that generates a like assert that it's okay kind of thing. That would be the easiest. Like it wouldn't be super great. Like you could still run your assertions in that for loop, but if you're just looking for like a 200 kind of thing, yeah, you could probably just ingest the sitemap and just for each over all of them kind of thing. Because I know that sitemap ingester, it does throw back just like an array of all of the entries in the sitemap. So you should just be able to loop over that and just hit them, with your normal assertion kind of thing. Okay, so ticket season test. Ticket season test, which line? 260. Okay, so ticket. Fill the asserting that null is an instance of blah. Okay, so ticket season marketplace listing factory recycle. Okay, so this one's failing. Ticket season marketplace listing. Oh, right. Okay, so let's take a look. Right, so this is marketplace listing. Okay, so that should pass now. Okay. What else we got? Admin season test. Admin season test. Yeah, like I mean, it's not the it's not the most robust test in the world. Like checking for 200 is definitely helpful, but it doesn't really check to make sure that the site is doing anything really useful other than just returning a 200. But to your point, like it's a quick batch way to just do a quick sanity check that you haven't like caused any major breaking or major breakage in a particular route. But yeah, like that's, if I was just trying to get something up quickly, that's probably the first thing I'd do. And then I'd go a little more deeper and like check the contents of each particular page based on some kind of lookup table or something. But that's a good first pass kind of thing. Okay, 238. So this needs to be changed to ticket season marketplace listing. Yep. Okay. And this needs, let's undo that. Ticket season marketplace listing. Okay, that's passing. Still got a big chunk of them there. Okay, 12. Okay, marketplace test. Marketplace test. So which ones are failing? 31. 31, yep, that's definitely going to fail. Marketplace listing. Let's see if we can see any of these other ones. Are any other obvious errors? Of course not. Right, okay, so we want to, let's go like this. Visual mode, all these, anywhere where it's dash search, we want to change this to marketplace listing. Ah, damn it. Visual mode. Let's try this again. Search. Okay. Okay. Marketplace listing. Okay. So now these should all pass. Hopefully. Failed asserting that 500 is identical to 200. Okay, so that's a different error. Okay, so what is failing now? Let's go to our marketplace and see if we can actually get an error popping up here. Okay, base table review not found, ticket season, marketplace listings. Okay, so create season searches table. Yeah, we actually need to rename that. Ticket season marketplace listings. Okay, right. So we need to run this migration. Art migrate, roll back, and art migrate. Okay, so now, okay, so let's go to the, let's go create one. Because it's throwing a 500, so this is something on the web. And I could probably look at the error, but I'd rather just like go in here and make this. So 100, 1, 1, 202, 1, blah, whatever. Okay, cool. So let's go to the marketplace. Cannot assign blah, blah, blah listing to, okay, so this is on the marketplace blade or marketplace. Actually, okay, so we're going to do a couple things here. So we're going to rename this migration so that it's more accurate. So database migrations. This is going to be create ticket season marketplace listings. Oh, man. Marketplace listings. Okay. Okay, so that's done. And now we need to go to the marketplace livewire table. Okay, so cannot assign to property on that marketplace item. Yes, so marketplace listing. Yep. Okay. All right, so this should now work. Cool. Curious if that's all the tests. I assume you're from Canada as well. Where are you located? Contact ticket owner. Right. Oh my goodness. Contact ticket owner. Fair enough. That's fine. I'm in Calgary. So yeah, but yeah, no, I love Laravel. I'm glad to have you along. This is awesome. Okay, so that should be the last test, I think. I think we've got it here. Know of any online communities? The only real Laravel community that I'm a part of is just the Laracasts forum, which is I don't know. It feels like it has its days, but it's not like it's good for asking questions. Like there are some super knowledgeable people on there, but as far as like just friend communities, there's two different kind of Laravel discords that I've found, like one official one and then one by his username is like Stonkel, Samuel. He did the tenancy package, or a tenancy package, like multi-tenancy package for Laravel. And both of them, and so I haven't actually been on them for a couple of years, like actually like interacted on there. A couple of years ago, they were, I don't know, they weren't great. So I'm sure there are better ones now. But yeah, I haven't found any myself. Pardon me. Okay. So rename, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So that's been done. Ensure on ticket season delete. I'm in the YCC dev Slack. It's okay seeing it. Yeah. And that's kind of the point of this channel is like, there are so many Laravel YouTube channels and Twitch channels, whatever, that are about, like, they'll come up with some contrived example of like, let's build a calculator app. And that's great. It's good to see people like putting content out there. But what I don't like is that when they make these videos, they end up like, they make them so perfect, and they'll go through and record like 5, 6, 7 times to make sure that everything's perfect. But that's not how the real world works, right? Like when your boss gives you an assignment and says like, go build out this feature, like it's not going to go perfectly the first time, right? You're going to run into problems. Just like these people, when they're writing their videos, they're going to run into problems. And so I think it's super important to see the failures, right? Like to show that things don't always work the way that you want them to. And so like it's just as important to be a good Googler, to be a good researcher, to find the solutions to your problem, rather than just being able to like copy code and make sure that your calculator app works as a calculator kind of thing, right? Like it's you're faced with a problem that you don't know how to solve. Like, what are you going to do, right? You can't just go to your boss and be like, well, I don't know how to do this, and just sit there and wait for him to give you something else, right? Like he's going to tell you like, no, you got to go figure it out. So my goal with these streams is to like obviously show my code and show my thought process, but also show like what do I do when I run into a problem, right? And I'm not the world's best coder by any stretch, but I still think it's important to like share the techniques that I have, and then I watch other streams and other videos where I learn how they solve their problems, right? So I think that the problem solving is really the goal of this stream, is like, I want to show my failure, and I know I'm not perfect. I'm going to look like an idiot some of these times, but that's okay, right? So that's my goal anyways. Okay, so we need to, let's close a bunch of these down. On the ticket season, we need to make sure that the cascade is also happening for the listings. So we need to say, before we even add it to the cascade deletes, we need to make sure that we have the relationship. So it's marketplace_listing. Okay. Marketplace listing. Yep. So that's part 1 of this. And then we also want to make sure that we're using the soft deletes on the marketplace listing. So let's go like this, and marketplace listing, ticket season marketplace listing. Yep. And so we want to say use soft deletes, and we will have to add that to the migration. Create ticket season marketplace listing. Table soft deletes. Yes. Yeah, that like I totally get it. Totally get it. Exactly, right? Like, and that's the thing is like I haven't found a lot of actual Laravel coding streamers that I enjoy watching. Like, well, number one, I haven't found many that out there, period. But yeah, like when I watch coding streams, I typically don't watch Laravel streams. I actually watch like other languages. Like last night I was watching JDH build asteroids in Zig. Now I will never program in Zig. Like it's not something I'm really interested in. I'm not really a like a console app guy, but I still think it's super interesting to watch the thought process of these other guys and understand like what they're thinking when they're up against the problem. Same with like John. I'm gonna butcher his name. I apologize in advance. Yang Set or something. He's a really prolific Rust developer. And again, I will probably never ever learn Rust, but watching him build a BitTorrent client from scratch in the console, like just understanding how he thinks about a problem and then abstractly applying it to my code is like super helpful, right? I don't understand Rust beyond just kind of the basics, like what you could get as he's talking about it, but it's still enough to like be able to implement his thought process, even if it's not the same syntax or the same I don't know what the word is, like the same paradigms, I guess. You could still implement those ideas even if it's not the same code kind of thing. Okay, so let us, I'm gonna go into here and go art migrate rollback, and then I'm gonna migrate again so that we get those soft deletes. Base table, what? Migrate. What am I missing here? Drop if exists. Marketplace listings. So it should be dropping that. So if we say migrate rollback, SQL Ace, let me go in here. Is that table there? Ticket season searches. Okay, well, we can delete this for one because we don't need it. Yep. Ticket season marketplace listing. Yeah, there shouldn't be anything in there. Why is it not deleting that? Ah, okay. So migration was not found. Okay, so the problem was I renamed the file and it was tracking by that file. Okay, so let's go into the migrations here. I believe it's going to be this last one here. Ticket season searches table. Yeah, so we can just delete this whole row. Yeah. Okay, so now if we migrate, now it should work. Yep, cool. And so what do we need to do next? We need to add soft deletes listing. Okay. Okay, so only display listing if the ticket season hasn't started. So I believe this is being done already. I'm pretty sure that when we go into the marketplace Livewire, so yeah, so ticket season, it's only getting the active ones. But the other thing we want to make sure is active should also, we want to limit the active as well. So if we go to marketplace listing test, watch pass. Okay, so what I'm thinking about here is, so if we go into the marketplace listing model, so right now our active is basically just saying where is active is true. The other thing that we want to make sure of is that the ticket season that it belongs to is also hasn't been completed yet, right? So like we don't want to, so I guess we're probably going to want another scope. It's like it, let's say it knows which, it knows if its ticket season has started yet. And so we'll work on the grammar there in a minute, but let's just like kind of hack out something here. So what we want to say is like, so we're on the listing. So we're going to say this. What are we calling it? Ticket season. Okay, so just the ticket season. Okay, so this listing equals ticket season marketplace listing. Yes. Okay, so the other thing we want to do is we want to say we're going to make a season here. We're going to say has not started equals ticket season factory create, but we want to say ticket seasons. What's the flag is complete? Insert is complete is false. Let's is not complete. And we want to recycle this one. Recycle is not complete. Yep. And then we also want to say complete equals ticket season factory. Yep. And is not complete marketplace listing. Sure. And then this one's going to be complete market listing. Complete. Okay. So we have two listings here, or two listing entries in the database. But what we want is we want to make sure that, pardon me, that we only see the one that is not complete. So we want to say Livewire test. Which one is this going to be? Marketplace class. Yep. We want to assert C. Sure, I don't think ticket season name is a thing, so we're going to say ticket season. What can we look for? We can look for ticket season. I mean, in theory, we can look for the team name, but that means we have to build up the entire like tree of things, and I really don't want to do that if I don't have to. It's not complete marketplace listing ticket season. Season home team nickname, I think. Okay, so this should pass by itself because we're not doing any filtering. Oh, right, we gotta log in. Right. Livewire acting as sure this admin. General error has no column. Name is completed. Is it in? Oh, is complete. Okay. 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 So that general has no. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's. Usually I do them in snake case. I don't know why I didn't do that there. Whatever. Okay, so attempting to read property nickname on null. Okay, so it's not getting the right team. So ticket season, home team nickname. Is that not sports team factory? Is it not? Yeah, it's nickname. Yep. take a look at what are we getting there? So null on the home team. Whoa. Okay, so we're getting the seasons. Season. Okay, so what is the teams? Okay, so on the ticket season, is it the home team? Yeah. Okay, so don't need the season, we need the team. Cool. And so then this becomes nickname. Cool. Okay, so we will go D5L, and that's still going to fail because this doesn't need to exist. Okay, that passes. Okay, so that part works good, but we also want to assert that we don't see the nickname of the other team. So assert don't see, yes. Okay, so right, so it's obviously showing because we're not filtering by the visible ones here. So we want to go ticket season marketplace, and we want to say, so this is going to be interesting. So I can never remember, and this is going to be like a nested where, and I can never remember how to do this. So I'm gonna have to go digging here. This is annoying. Laravel where nested. Pardon me. Nested and or query. Yeah, I can never remember the context though. So query where. Oh, actually, is there a Laravel where has, I think, relationships. Let's just go to 10 because we're still on 10 here. Okay, so querying. Yeah, that's not going to get us where. Use the where has. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of what we're looking for. So where has, and we're going to say, oh, it's like it knows me already. Cool. So where has ticket season, because that's the name of the relationship, right? Yeah, ticket season. And then it's going to take instance of the query, and then query where complete is true. And that's not going to work because this has to be is complete. So where is complete? No, this is where this is false. False, because we don't want the ones where the season is complete. So now if we go here, boom. Thanks. I really appreciate that, Bard. And yeah, I usually stream Sunday evenings. I'm actually starting early just because I've got so much to do here. But yeah, thanks for joining. Really appreciated the conversation, and hope to have you back soon. All right. So, okay, let's take a look at our list here. So only display the listing if the ticket season hasn't started. Okay, so mark listing as inactive when the season is marked as complete. Okay, so that's the other thing we need to do. So we want to say ticket season, ticket season test. And so what we want to say is it emits an event when the season is marked as complete. So let's just go like this. this season. That should be a thing, right? I'm pretty sure. Before each, this season. Okay, so this season, and I'm pretty sure that's the right one. Mark season, no. Okay, so let's go and find out what the actual one is. So, first game, last name, pick pattern, complete. Okay, so okay, complete. And we need to event facades. Yes, we want to fake the event bus, and we want to event assert dispatched, and we'll call this season completed. Sure, that works. And we will also assert not dispatched. Okay, so yeah, obviously that's going to fail because the class doesn't exist. So we will go into our command prompt here and go art make event season completed. Wow, my typing is horrible today. Okay, so we can remove that and we can say season completed. Okay, it's going to be like that. Fantastic. So use app events season completed. Okay, so these should now stop complaining. Define type. Is that not where? Do I have the wrong path? App events season completed. Yeah, app events season completed. I think this is just being annoying. So let's go ticket season test. Okay, so yeah, so it's not complaining anymore, so that's fine. Okay, so failed asserting false is true. The expected blah 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 was not dispatched. Right. Okay, so we're failing here. Okay, so in the ticket season, we also want to say event new season completed. This sure completed. Okay, and so now this should pass technically. Okay, cool. The next thing we want to do is don't care about channels, don't care about presence channel, don't care about broadcast. That's not going to be any of those things. In this event, we are going to take the ticket season. Yep. And of course, season. Okay. And so, yeah, we don't even need that. Whatever, that's fine. And so event service provider. Okay, so we want to listen for the season completed class. Yep. And when we see a season completed, we want to what do we want to do? We want to mark marketplace listing as inactive. Expression is not writable. Okay. That's a new one. Season completed. Is that not use app events? Define type. Yeah, that's fine. So why Why is that saying expression is not writable? I've never seen that before. Oh, there we go. Okay, so mark marketplace listing as inactive. So this is where we want to actually implement this. So we want to ink that art. What is this going to be? Can we do class? No, we can't. So we want to let's touch app helpers that mark marketplace listing as inactive. Yes. Be nice if it actually went. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's why. Okay, so let's BD that. That can be deleted. Yes. And let's go touch app helpers using right slashes. There we go. Mark marketplace listing as inactive. Yes. Namespace. App helpers. Yep. Class. So with events. Okay, so defining events. Yeah, I guess we actually just need the listener. Yeah, so what am I doing here? This helper delete. Yes. Okay. Sorry, my brain is broken. It's Sunday. Give me a break. Art, make, listener. Mark marketplace listing as inactive. That's what we want. Yes. Okay, so marketplace as inactive. There we go. Mark marketplace listing as inactive. Okay, so we want to implement should queue because we don't want this happening on the main thread. Okay, so we are going to take the ticket season. So that should give us the, oh, I guess we don't even need to do that because it's going to be part of the event. So we can go, okay. So we can say, let's just DD out the event season. So if we go back to this, no, we want the ticket season. Ticket season test. Is it going to give us the DD? Probably not, because it's doing it on the as a queue. So what we really want is, okay, so when the season is completed, we want to event season marketplace listing. Yeah, that kind of works. Let's see if that's the right relationship name, marketplace underscore listing. So this needs to go to, oops, underscore listing. Yes, so event season marketplace listing update active false. Now I don't think that's the name of the relationship. So let's get the right, or the name of the column. So is active. Is active. Okay. So let's say it's an event when the season is marked as complete. And so now on our marketplace listing test, it is marked as not as inactive when the season is marked as complete. Okay, so what do we need? We need, so the ticket season is going to be a factory create, yep. And we're going to say the listing equals ticket season marketplace listing, recycle a ticket season, yep. And then we are going to say, yeah, okay, so we're going to say ticket season complete. And we want to expect that listing fresh is active to be false. Yeah. Right, because we have to import that as a function, pest. Okay, target class does not exist. Where is that happening? In our event service provider, where is that not happening? Right. As marketplace listing is inactive. Okay. Let's try our test again. Okay, undefined property. Season completed season. Ticket season. So that should be ticket season. Undefined property, ticket season. Okay, so let's close a bunch of this stuff here and start over. No. Okay, so let's start over. Okay, so undefined property, season completed, ticket season. Season completed. Ticket scheme. Marketplace listing is inactive, so it should be that. Failed asserting that 0 is false. Okay. So we want to go into our marketplace listing. We want to cast that to protected casts is active as Boolean. Okay, so now we have a passing test. Doesn't want to do anything. None of these tests want to work. Okay, let's get out of here and reopen here. Marketplace listing tests. We have a passing test. Beautiful. Okay, so what are we going to do here? Let's go back to Notion. Only display listing as ticket season. Okay, so mark listing is when season is marked as complete. Okay, that part's done. The listing can be reactivated, yeah, but is not done automatically if season is marked as incomplete again. Yeah, that's just kind of happens by default. And we want to set the marketplace to ignore inactive listings. So we're done that part. Okay. So the next part, track if someone has contacted the admin already. Do not allow multiple communications. Okay, so I think what we want to do here. So this is going to be another model. I'm I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm starting to get a bit hungry, so I'm thinking about if I want to do lunch here or not. So let's, yeah. Start, make, test, marketplace communication test. Market communication. Okay, so I'm just going to write a couple of test descriptions here, and then I think I'm going to go make some food. So we're going to say test. So it creates a communication when contact is initiated, and then the what do we want to say? It prevents a single person from contacting the admin of a single season more than once. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, I think this is all it's going to be is just a log of the instances where the contact was kind of initiated, and then also we want to say we want to add a disclaimer page. So it shows a disclaimer when contact is initiated. And again, I'm just going to put some notes here. Check for full name. These are the words we're going to be, literally the words we're going to be looking for in this thing. So check for full name, email. Like, we're not going to be searching for the person's full name. We're going to be literally searching for these words: full name, email, and what are the other things we want to care about? We want to, like, absolved. I don't know. These are the words we're going to search for on that page, and if they accept the disclaimer, then they can go ahead and the email will get sent off. Okay. So I'm not ending the stream here. I'm just going to put it on Be Right Back for like 10-15 minutes. I'm going to bring my food down here. I'm going to eat as fast as I can, and then we'll pick this back up. So I will be back at half an hour past the hour. And yeah, we'll continue working down this list. We're actually making way more progress than I thought we were going to. I figured that this is going to take a lot longer. I still think getting the Lemon Squeezy stuff is going to take some time, but that's fine. So yeah, I will be back in 15 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Almost burned my face off here. Had some leftover Indian curry, and oh my goodness, whew, little spicy. Okay, let's get back to this. So, track if someone has contacted the admin already. We don't want to allow multiple communications. So, we go back to our test here. We want to say, how do we want to do this? We want to live wire test. And this is the marketplace item. And so what we want to do is, I don't even remember if that's correct or not. Let's go market item. So contact, right. So we want to text marketplace item, this item, right. So we're gonna have to have a for each. This item equals ticket season marketplace listing factory create. Yep. And of course, need to import that. Okay, so I don't remember what the so we need the item is the listing. Okay, yep. And so we want to say this is going to be call contact with the item ID. Okay. So this is going to be this item ID. Yep. Okay. And so what we want is now we want to actually, okay, so we also have to do this acting as. So we're going to say this acting as, we'll say admin for now. I don't think this is really going to matter, but whatever. This admin equals user factory create. Yep. And then this. Okay. So we want to this assert database has, but not what it is filling in there. So assert database has, and we want to say ticket season marketplace communications. So we're going to look for the ticket season marketplace listing ID. Yep. And the user ID. Actually, let's go like this because we want a user, not the admin. So we want user factory create. We want to say livewire acting as user. And so then this now becomes user ID. Okay, so a bunch of this is going to fail. That's fine because we don't have any of this stuff built yet. So let's go art, make, model, ticket, season, marketplace, communication. You know what? I'm going to simplify this. Marketplace, communication. Marketplace communication. Yeah, and we want the migration in a factory. Cool. Okay, so it's still going to fail. No such table, ticket season, marketplace communications. That's fine. This can just get deleted. Okay, again. Okay, so yeah, so now it's at least using the right table. So we need to say create com table. Yep. And so this is going to track the foreign ID of the user. Yep. And also the foreign ID for This is going to be for the ticket season marketplace listing. Yep. And this will be, and let's get rid of this. Oh my goodness. Neovim, I swear to goodness. Okay, so foreign ID for user class. Yep. Okay, so marketplace communications. Yep. So we want to say when this person sends a contact, we also want to create a entry in that table. So we're going to say marketplace communication. Yep. And it's not going to import properly, right? And so we're going to say tickets season marketplace. Yep. And user ID is the auth user ID. I don't know why I did that. Vim dot marketplace item. Place communication. Yep. Okay, so this is going to kind of add the log, like to the log. And so if we go back to our marketplace com test, add ticket season marketplace listing ID to fillable property. Okay, yeah. Marketplace com. And so the fillable field is going to be the user ID and the ticket season marketplace ID, I believe. Probably wrong. Ticket season marketplace listing ID. That was getting very long, but cool. So now we have a test to make sure that it's being created. And now what we're going to do is we are going to we're going to do a couple things. We're going to yank this test. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to basically try and like have this, oops. Like basically we want to try contacting the person twice, right? So what we really want is we want to say expect marketplace communication class count to be 1, right? We only want it to happen once because right now it's going to happen multiple times. So we're going to have to do a couple of things. Number one is in the migration, we want to make sure, not that one, create com. Yeah. So we want to make sure that this combination, like the listing ID and the user ID is unique. And so if I remember the syntax correctly, it should be table unique. Yep. Those two. So now this is going to fail for a different reason. It's going to fail earlier because it's going to say like there's a unique constraint failed. Yep, that's exactly what we want. And so what we're going to say here is we want to basically silently fail. Like I don't want. Do I want to silently fail? No, there should probably be an alert that just pops up and says you've already contacted this person. Please wait for them to respond. So, okay, so we'll do this the easy way then. So if so what do we want to say? So if no marketplace communication. Okay, so we're gonna do a lookup first. So we're gonna say communication equals marketplace communication where Ticket season marketplace listing ID. Yep, where that first. Okay, so then we're gonna say if there's no communication, we want to do this thing. We want to create one. And so that and that. Okay. We can yank this. Right. So and we can delete this and put this in here as well. So actually what we should be doing really is, because there's so much logic in this if statement, what we should really be doing is the reverse. So like do an early return. So if there is a communication, get rid of that. We want to, toast warning, you have already contacted the admin of this season. Perfect. It's literally exactly what we want. Cool. Yep. I don't even think we need that anymore, but I'm going to leave it for now. Okay, so if there is communication, we've already contacted the admin of this season, so we can just send them back. Cool. That's really easy. So now that happens, right? And so now the count is still only 1, and we're not erroring. We're just getting the green light. Cool. Shows a disclaimer when the contact is initiated. Let's go to Notion here and go do not allow multiple communications, because that's done. So add a disclaimer page for the contact flow that we cannot be responsible for what goes on between our members. Okay, so the next thing is, so we want to, again, take this. Okay, and so what we want to assert redirect to some route, we'll call it like marketplace disclaimer. And we want to pass it the item. And so this is going to be the listing is this item ID. Yep. So basically, like, assuming they are fine with the disclaimer, like that, you know, your email address is going to be disclosed, your name is going to be disclosed, and that we are like not involved in this process, then you know, they can go forward and we'll send off the email. Otherwise, they can just go back, kind of thing. And then we also want to assert C. I think we should just be able to go like a list of these things here. Ooh, that's not what we want. That's what we want. Okay. So on the marketplace disclaimer page, then we also want to see that there is a confirm button kind of thing. Okay. So let's go like this. Well, TTD says we run the test and it should fail, right? Okay, so route doesn't exist. So let's art make Livewire marketplace disclaimer. And then we'll go into the web route, and we will say route get season. No, we actually want this to be marketplace listing. Disclaimer for now. Whatever, we can change the route, like the path actual thing list later. So we're going to say marketplace disclaimer class. And why is that? It annoys me that happens. Marketplace. Cool. Okay, so that should be okay now. Undefined type. Did I type that wrong? Marketplace disclaimer. Marketplace disclaimer. Okay, so this is just having a day. Okay, so failed starting, did not perform a redirect. Okay, that's fine. So we want to go to the marketplace item now. And so this is now, we're basically going to extract all this logic into Hey, inspector. Yeah, we're going to buy you a car and then we're going to slash its tires, okay? Okay, so yeah, what we're going to do is we are going to extract all of this logic into the new disclaimer class, because none of this is really going to happen until I guess this isn't going to happen until we've got the person has approved the disclaimer. So let's go disclaimer. Okay, so I'm going to say function confirm, I guess. Right now it'll just return void. It's going to return a redirect, but we'll just have it like this for now. So we want to, this is where it's going to do this stuff. Okay, so we want to import all these. So marketplace communication, we want to import mail. We need the toasts, so use wire toast. Okay, that's fine. We're going to confirm with the int item ID. So we are going to, what do we need here? Let's just shrink this down so it's a little more readable. Hey, I didn't say it was going to be a new car. I just said we're going to buy you a car. Okay, so we can paste that in. Okay, so yeah, so if they contact, now we want to say return redirect route marketplace, yes, listing, because we should be getting the item ID there. So this test should now mostly pass when function must not return a value. Okay, so what are we returning there? This needs to be imported as well. Owner, yep. So this is going to return like a redirect or a redirect response, because Livewire is fun like that. Redirect response. I feel like this is not going to pass. I thought there was like a sure of it. Okay, well, whatever. Okay, so this is probably going to fail, but at least for a different reason now. Marketplace item line 34. Oh, pardon me. Or void. Is that going to work? Function with a return name must return a value. Return null. Yes, of course. Marketplace item. Okay. So is this going to pass? Okay. Yeah. So return value must be, yeah. So support facades redirect or, let's just yank this so I don't have to keep typing it. Nope, not this. Let's close that for now. I can close that for now. And this may return a supports redirect redirector. That. Okay, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna cry. Okay, good. So it's failing for the right reason, at least. Okay, so it's not finding the text, but that's fine. Okay, so right, because it's not containing the word absolve. Right. Okay, so that's good. So now we can go into our disclaimer blade, and we will say. Now we actually want to do a couple of things here. We need to go into the marketplace so that we can import the right layout, because right now it is not doing that by default. So we'll close that. Paste that, not there, there. Layout, yep. Okay, and so the idea is if we go to here, okay, so we don't have any seasons being listed there, so let's just put one there. Man, list $100, one new member, $398, one, blah. Okay, so if we go to the marketplace now, there's a listing here, and it's ours, so we'll need to log out. And then log in as anyone else. Example, yep. Go to the marketplace. Okay, so there's this contact button. So if we click it, it's gonna, oh, let's get rid of that confirm, because that confirm is now gonna become the disclaimer. So we'll go marketplace item, and we will just delete this whole line. So we don't need that anymore. It's just gonna take us to a whole disclaimer page. So contact, okay. Marketplace communication does not exist. Ugh, art, migrate. Identifier name is too long. Fantastic. Okay, so we can give it a different name. Let's go back to here, and we will go into the marketplace communications table. Table, and I believe there's a, yeah, I think we should just be able to do that. Let's try this. Base table. Okay, so we've got to drop that table by doing a rollback and then try it again. Okay, so migrate. Base table review already exists, so why is this complaining now? Marketplace communications. Let's just drop this table. Delete. Okay, now we have a working table with the right index or right unique index on it. So if we go to refresh this and go to the marketplace communications on our structure, there should be a key called marketplace unique or something. Yes. Actually, I think if we go here and we say, how do we want to call this? unique user and listing. I just want to make sure that we're not overwriting like a default unique index. So let's go migrate again, and we can refresh this. Okay, so it's doing it correctly. So it's creating the correct unique index. Okay, so can close that. Let's try and refresh this. It doesn't seem like anyone's looking for new squad members, of course. Oh, that sucks because marketplace listing. Is there nothing in here? Of course. Stub squad.test. I'll just log in using this one. And we'll make another listing again. List your open slots. 100. 1. Okay. So now if we go to contact, that should take us to like basically like a blank page. Okay, beautiful. So that's what we want to see. And so now if we go to the disclaimer, we should just be able to say like, and this is going to be super ugly. We're going to say, and we'll just give it some base classes right now, and we'll style it in a minute. So text white, and we'll say contacting this admin means they will see your full name and email address. By confirming, you acknowledge that you are agreeing to this disclosure, and that stub squad, no. Furthermore, stub squad cannot be held responsible for any activity that takes place off our platform. We cannot guarantee the validity of any tickets, and so it is up to you as the user to verify that the tickets are legitimate before engaging in any transaction. Okay, contacting this admin means they will see your full name and email address by confirming with the button below. You acknowledge that you're agreeing to this disclosure. If you do not agree, please click the cancel button. Cut button. And your information will not be shared. Furthermore, Stub Squad cannot be held responsible for any activity that takes place off our platform. We cannot guarantee the validity of any tickets, and so it is up to you as the user to verify that the tickets are legitimate before engaging in any transaction, monetarily or otherwise. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just basically getting some boilerplate down. Once we start, like, if we start making any money, I will have a real lawyer write a better disclosure statement. But for this point, this is, I'm good with this. This is just a blanket, like we are not liable for anything. I hope, anyways. Okay, so we will go wrap this in a p tag. P. Okay, and then cool. We need to create an H1. Stop Squad Marketplace disclaimer. It's like it knows me already. Of course, right now this is not going to be styled at all. That's okay. So we'll go class text 4XL font bold. Okay. We want to what do we want to do? We want to flex call with 2/3 item center justify between. That's not justify between. Okay. And we also want to do space Y4. And we need a couple of buttons. So we want to say div, and we want a button that says confirm. We want a button that says cancel. Yep. Look at those beautiful buttons. So class is going to be px3 py2 bg green 500 hover bg green 400 text white rounded sm and transition. That looks better. And then we're going to want some spacing between these. So class space Y4. Oh, space X4. Space X4. There we go. Okay. And then, so we're going to do the same thing here, just with some red. So we're going to say class equals py2px3 text white bg red 500. Cool. Did I miss something? BG. Oh. Cool. And now we want to do something with these buttons. So we're going to say wire click equals cancel. And wire click equals confirm. Okay, and so now we can go back here and confirm. So we need to pass it. Actually, we don't even need to do that. We can just say on how do we want to do this? Let's go like this. So we're going to say function mount. It's going to return void. We're going to say this listing equals that. Delete that. And we're going to take the item ID as the property there. And so then we will have a public property with the season, with the listing. Yep. And so you can now say this listing ID this listing Okay. And so now we get to the page. It should already know the listing ID. And again, we'll have to put some authorization in here to make sure like that the person doesn't already exist. So that's fine. We'll do that in a minute. Let's see. Render that. And so when we confirm create, yep. We want to create that thing. We want to send the email, and then we want to actually going to return a redirector or a redirect response. Of course, it's not going to do the autocomplete or not auto import. Redirect response, yep. And so we're going to return a redirect to the marketplace. Cool. Okay, so let's take a look. We need to authorize as requests. Yep. And so the reason we're doing an authorize requests here is because in the marketplace item, we do this check to basically say like if they already exist. But in theory, someone could find this route directly and then manually go through this process. So we basically need to do the check again. So we can basically go like this and return ink and like just paste that here. Okay, so this is going to be the this listing ID. Pardon me. Okay, so we've done the check again. So unable to resolve dependency item ID and class, blah blah blah. Okay, so what is our so we're taking that in. Int item ID. Why? Oh, because it's the. So this is like the Laravel convention. So if we go to the web, so it's looking for something that's like named this specifically. So if we refresh this, must be of type int. Oh, okay, so it's even going to do that for us. So it actually does this. So that's awesome. So we can say ticket season marketplace listing. Yep. Okay. Array to string conversion. Marketplace 25. This listing. You just go like this. Listing. Oh my goodness. Cool. That should work. Awesome. And just for the people who are watching who don't understand what's happening here. So in a Livewire component, you don't use the constructor, but you get this mount method, which is kind of like the equivalent of the constructor in a Livewire component. So you're basically doing the same thing you would do in the constructor, except instead of setting like, you just don't have the ability to do like a public property there, which is unfortunate. But yeah, so it's basically just like you treat this effectively as the constructor for the component. Okay, so let's just pretend we're okay with this. We'll confirm. Email sent to the admin of the season. We're probably gonna have to run a queue worker so that we can actually see that thing happen. Queue work, contact ticket owner. Okay, and so these other ones were just other stuff I was testing. But the last one succeeded. And so now if we look at the listing, yep. And if we go to try and contact them again, you have already contacted the admin of this season. Perfect. And then also if we go to here, confirm, you've already contacted the admin of the season. So perfect. So that the checks are working. That's good. So let's go back to our test. So the word, I think it's absolved, contains full name. Oh, is it getting split onto multiple lines? No, it shouldn't be. It's right there. Marketplace item. Oh, okay. So, pardon me. So what it's actually not, it's not doing the assert C on the redirect. It's still trying on the marketplace item itself. So what we need to do is we need to say, oh, actually, let's go like this. Prove that, and then live wire test marketplace disclaimer. Yeah. Disclaimer. What is it not saying? Right. So absolved is not happening on there. So what another word? Cannot be held responsible for any activity that takes place off our platform. Just like look for this string instead. Okay. Confirm. What is the word that is missing? It contains absolve. What the heck? Cannot be held responsible. There we go. Okay, and that should now pass. It does. We now have a working disclaimer. Now, there is going to be a failure somewhere in our test suite because we were looking for like the wire confirm at one point. So let's just run our test suite and just basically go remove those tests because that's like we have a better way of doing this here. That's a lot of failing tests. Okay, so the expected contact ticket owner mailable was not queued. Okay, so yeah, so now that we've changed the flow, we basically have to go into all these tests where we were just clicking the contact button, and now we actually have to make sure that we're like going to the next step instead in the flow. So that was the marketplace test. Marketplace test. Okay, and which line? 121. 121. Okay, so we need to say marketplace sends an email to the admin when the user says they want to join. Okay, so now this is going to be a disclaimer. Why is that not? Oh, goodness. And we want to confirm, and it doesn't take any arguments. So marketplace disclaimer. Live wire. That is not passing. Okay, what are we missing here? Sends an email to the admin when the user decides they want to join. So what is being called null? Oh, this needs to be called listing. Okay, cool. So that test passed. Close that. Run our test again. Now we're going to have a bunch of failing tests. That's okay. we'll just go through one by one and fix them up here. Okay, marketplace communication test. Marketplace com test. Okay, so there's going to be a couple of these. So marketplace communication, yep. And this is going to be listing. And this is going to be confirm. Enable the following component. Marketplace disclaimer. There we go. That passes. Disclaimer, and then these need to be changed to listing. Okay, so unable to call component method, public method, contact not found on component. Oh, right. And so this needs to be confirm. Now that passes. Okay. Confirm. Okay, actually this one we want to leave as the item. And the reason for that is we want to make sure the actual flow works. Call contact. Okay, yeah. So we want to make sure that like the first thing that they do is they see this contact button and they get redirected, and then if they do, then on the disclaimer page they actually do the sending of the email. So clear those. Let's see what else is failing. Okay, so this is going to be one of the ones that's looking for the wire confirm. So marketplace test 108. Marketplace test 108. Okay, so yeah, this whole test can just be removed. What else do we got? Can we scroll up? No, just run the test again. Okay, so admin season test 244. Let's just close some of these. Admin season test 244. Okay, so call. So let's take a look. What is this failing? Admin can remove the marketplace listing. Why is this failing? Okay, so is this so I'm wondering if this is because we're now using soft deletes. So expect this season marketplace listing fresh. Shouldn't be factory this season create. So what do we got? TicketSeason marketplace listing. I want to see. Okay, so it is this. Marketplace fresh. Listing fresh to be no. No, didn't want that. Just want to shrink this down a bit. Okay, so why is this ticket season marketplace listing? Number one, let's go take a look and make sure like so deleted at is there. And so what this is saying is this still is, there's still something coming back. So let's go take a look. Okay, so yeah, it is coming back with something, which definitely is not what we want. Let's go like this. Read out on true, right? Because it's deleting it. So, right? Because that's what we want. We want it to basically just like it's doing this delete call, so it should just return true, basically saying like, yes, I have deleted it. But then why is this? I want to make sure I'm returning the right thing. Yes, okay. So it is returning true. It's this return. So what I don't understand is if we're doing a fresh call, why it's still there. Yeah, so it even has the deleted at, unless does fresh do with trashed? I didn't think it did. Pardon me. Yeah, that is extremely weird. Like it has the deleted at field set, which means that by default, eloquent shouldn't be like typically if you want the like the deleted items, you basically have to pass this with trashed. Yeah, like right here, typically implicit model binding will not retrieve models that have been soft deleted. Yes, we can do this kind of check. Okay, so that passes. Okay, so it knows it's trash. It's returning it anyways. Okay, so what else we got? When I see a bunch of tests like this, that makes me think that they're all like in in like a before each kind of thing. Okay, so what are we doing? Marketplace listing as inactive. Okay, so it's not being passed. Yeah, it looks like kind of a bunch of tests all looking at the same thing here. So call to member function update on null. Okay, so what test is this? This is on the edit sports team. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, so what we really need then is we want to say, oops. Oh. Marketplace listing as inactive. Okay, so what we really need to do is we need to say if event ticket season marketplace listing Okay, so yeah, so basically we shouldn't be assuming that the listing exists because it might not, right? Like the person might never have decided to list their season. And so if they haven't, then we don't have to worry about it. Okay, so now let's try and run the test suite. This might have solved basically all of our remaining issues here. Golden. Beautiful. Okay, so we have a completely passing test suite. That's good to hear. And so, why am I, just close out of there and we'll update those while we go back to Notion here for a second. Okay, so disclaimer page, contact flow. Okay, so that's done. So the last thing we need to do here today, and it's still a decent chunk of work, but let's get started, is the actual payment thing. And so we're going to be using Lemon Squeezy as our payment processor. They collect all the taxes and everything, so we don't have to worry about that stuff. We just have to basically implement their package in our project, and then basically send people to Lemon Squeezy when they want to list their season. And then if the sales complete and Lemon Squeezy tells us that it's been completed, we can make that listing public. If they don't, then we just basically say, payment failed, please try again. And then, they can try again with Lemon Squeezy kind of thing. So now Lemon Squeezy does have a Laravel package, which is amazing. I haven't used it yet, but it's created by Dries Vince. He's one of the Laravel core team members, so I think we can assume that it's going to have some level of quality. So we'll go to their blog, and there's a link here, official Laravel package. Yep, this is the one we want. Okay, so yeah, Dries Vince. Yeah, he's one of the Laravel core team members. Very, very common guy, or very popular guy in the Laravel scene. So first thing we got to do is require the package. So we will do that. Require that. Okay, API key. So I've done this. I've added the API key and the store identifier to my env file already, so we can just skip that part. To make sure that we can actually create checkouts for our customers, we need to configure a model to be our billable model. This is typically the user model of our app. To do this, important, use the billable trait on your model. Cool. So let's open up our user model. And we will say use billable. Cool. And now your user model will have access to methods from our package to create checkouts and Lemon Squeezy for your products. Cool. Note that you can make any model type of billable as you wish. It's not required to use one specific model class. Okay. The package comes with some migrations. So we'll have to do the migrate. So art migrate. Cool. Customers, subscriptions, orders. That's awesome. And uses its own JavaScript library. We can make use of it by loading it through the blade directive in the head section of our app, right before the closing head tag. So we will go to our public layout. We'll put it in here. And then we also want to put it in the layout app. Okay. This way it'll be available for anyone who's logged in, as well as like the public version. Finally, make sure to set up incoming webhooks. This is needed in development as in production. So we can run this like command to run, I think it's ngrok or expose or something. So we'll just get another terminal open here and we'll go Lemon Squeezy listen, expose, signing secret environment variable. Okay, what if I do the other one? ngrok. Okay, so it needs a signing secret regardless. Okay, is there go to point webhooks in production. Okay. Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm just going to hide my screen for 1 second here, and I'm going to create a signing secret. Lemon Squeezy signing secret. Okay. Art config clear. I'm just going to make sure that this actually works before I bring my screen back here. Listen on expose. Okay, cool. Setting up webhooks domain with expose. Let's try ngrok. Yes. Let's try it one more time now that the firewall is fine. Couldn't connect to server. Is that our firewall being weird? Okay, so it's not even requesting. If we go to expose, it does something and then it goes away. So what am I doing? This command will set up a webhook through the Lemon Squeezy API, start listening for any events, and remove the webhook when quitting the command. Yeah, like the fact that it's dying right away tells me that it's probably not living long enough to listen. Dashboard. Go take a look. Settings, webhooks. Yeah, so there's no webhooks even listed here. Yeah. So let's just run ngrok. I can't remember the command here. So ngrok. HTTP. And if I now, because okay, so what I'm thinking about is like, so I'm running Laravel herd, and it has a bunch of host names listening on the same port. I'm going to use the host header feature to like figure out which one it's going to, and so I don't know. I mean, if we go at HTTP 80, it's not gonna. I mean, like it connects, but it's not actually going to like do anything. Oh, web interface. Okay, so what if we do 443? Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. That might actually be why it's not working. Okay, so I'm going to hide my screen again here for a second. We'll go get a new token because apparently I don't have, didn't get one after rebuilding this laptop. Sign in. Okay. Okay, sorry, I got to flip back here because I have too long of a signing secret. So just get rid of some of that, I guess. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh man, I was close. I had 42 characters. Cool. Okay, so now if I go back to my desktop here, okay, so you can see the webhook has been set up successfully. Apparently it's only going to run for an hour, and then we'll have to renew it. That's fine. Okay, so let's go back to our instructions here, and I will reset that token later. Okay, so we need to go to our verify CSRF token middleware and add this to the accept array. Verify CSRF token. Yep, and we want to paste that. Cool. Okay, so configuration. We don't recommend publishing a config file. That's fine. Verifying webhook signatures. Okay, we've kind of gone through that already. Overriding migrations, don't need to do that. And then checkouts. Okay, so you can easily create checkouts for your customers. That's what we're looking for. So single payments. For example, you want to create a checkout for a single payment, use a variant ID of a product variant you want to sell, and create a checkout using the snippet below. Pardon me. So this is, so it's going to be a route. So we're going to go into our web routes here. And so I want to put this down here, and I want to make like I want to separate some of these so they're kind of a little more obvious as to like that there's sections of things. Okay, so we're going to say route get marketplace listing checkout. Okay, and this is obviously going to be the wrong class. That's fine, because actually what we're doing is we're just copying this. So this whole thing is this. Okay, so function takes in the request, returns a request user checkout and the variant ID. So the variant ID, each time you blah, 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 custom price charges. Okay, so we're not going to worry about that right now, but we do need to get the variant ID from the Lemon Squeezy page. So I've gone ahead and in our store, I have a single product, which is the marketplace listing. And so I don't know where we will get the variant ID. So we don't like, yeah, we don't want, let's see, I'll go back. Yeah. Did we actually add a variant here? No, okay. So copy variant ID. Okay, cool. Easy enough. Let's undo that. DT that. Copy variant ID. Okay, so that's the variant ID. Okay. Marketplace checkout. Yep. Okay, so we have our product that checks out. When creating a checkout for your store, each time you redirect a checkout object or call URL, okay, an API call to Lemon Squeezy will be made. Calls are expensive and can be time and resource consuming for your app. Yeah, we're not going to be selling enough for that to even matter, so that's fine. Overlay widget. Okay, so instead of redirecting your customer to a checkout screen, you can also create a checkout button, which will render a checkout overlay on your page. To do this, pass the checkout object to a view. That could be interesting. And then they don't even actually leave our site. They just, they get a pop-up, they pay, and then they just continue on. I actually kind of like that. So I think what we'll do then is we will say, we'll do this, and we'll say checkout equals that, and then return view. I guess we'll call it billing just like they do. And we'll say checkout. Cool. Now create the button using the shipped Laravel blade component from the package. Checking out subscriptions, and you'll be charged blah, blah, blah. We're not doing subscriptions, so that doesn't matter. I'm going to set a different color for the checkout button. You want to pass a hex color using the with button. Easily pre-fill user data for checkouts. Okay, I like that to make it easier for them. I mean, we'll only be filling out their name, but that's okay. It's still one less thing that the person has to type in. Product name, blah, 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 redirects after purchase. To redirect customers back to your app after purchase, you may use the redirect to method. Okay, so we definitely want to do that. We'll say redirect to. So we want, okay, it can be a relative path, URL, actually redirect to route. So they've paid for it. So at that point, we want to send them back to the marketplace, because then they can actually see their listing that they just created. Okay, you'll need to publish your, that's if you want to set the default URL. Okay, expire checkouts, don't care about that. Custom data, don't care about that. Customers. Okay, so we definitely do want to pass along custom data, because we want to pass along the ID of the listing, so that if the person has multiple seasons, because it's theoretically possible that the person could have multiple sets of season tickets, we want to make sure that we're marking the correct one as legitimate. So actually, let's just go like this: request user, and so we're going to say checkout, and then custom. Okay, it's not just this custom. So we're going to say marketplace listing ID equals request listing. Yes. Expected that. What did I do here? Oh. Okay. Okay, so actually for right now, let's just use their checkout flow, and then if we don't like it, then we can have our own kind of pop up there. So for right now, okay, and actually no, they don't want to go back to the marketplace. They got to go back to the listing so they can actually edit the listing. And so this is going to be marketplace. Marketplace listing, and the season is going to be the request listing ticket season. Because, okay, so, and here's my thought process. So, and actually let's put these in the order that they're actually going to happen. So first you're going to see the disclaimer, right? Basically saying like, if this is if you're wanting to connect to one that already exists, but if you're the admin, you're going to first get the this is not going to be the listing. This is going to be the season. And this is going to be the listing. So this is going to be, okay, give me 1 second, I'll explain my thought process here. Okay, so if you want to list your season, you have to go to the checkout, and your season, the listing isn't going to even exist yet. First you have to pay, and then once you pay, then you can, so you'll go through this checkout flow, and if it's successful, you'll get redirected to the marketplace listing. Otherwise, so I wonder if there is a like redirect to on fail versus redirect to on like, okay, so what I'm thinking about is like this listing isn't going to exist if the person's payment failed. I'm just curious what this is going to do. So I guess we'll just have to test it out and see. Okay, so let us, let's go into our admin season, and so we want to where is the is there no create listing or anything like that, or does it just go to a different link? Yeah, it must. Okay, so let's go to admin season, and so yeah, list or open slots is going to be right here, right? Yeah. Okay, so instead of going to this route, now we want to go to the, what did we call it? Marketplace checkout. Marketplace checkout with the season. Yep. Yeah, because we're giving it the season there. So let's just go take a look. Let's go like this. This can be deleted. Okay. Okay, so let's go into Stub Squad, and we'll pretend we're creating a new listing, and let's see what happens. Oh, right, because I'm logged in as the guy who doesn't have a season, so let's log in as me. Go to admin. Off topic, how did you apply the padding or margin on your programs? So are you talking about like, is there a specific page you're asking for, or is there like, are you just talking about in general? In general. Okay, so I use Tailwind CSS, and so Tailwind has like some really awesome utilities like px4. So like this is padding on the x-axis and 4 units. I don't remember what they are offhand, but on their documentation, it explains like, oh, actually, I guess we can go there. Tailwind, sure align content. We'll just look for padding. And so I'm just realizing now my coding has been a lot smaller. So like PX0 is obviously 0 padding. And then like if you look at like, let's go to like PX4. So PX4 is 1 rem or 16 pixels. And you can do it in the Y direction, or you can do it like in all. So like you could just go like P4, which is like padding in all, like top, left, bottom, right. And you can do like all these, they have like I said, like a ton of just different padding utilities. And then they also have the same margin utilities. Like if you're not using Tailwind CSS, I highly recommend using it because it is beautiful. It's so easy to write CSS like that. Okay, so let's zoom this in a bit because I didn't realize it was so small. So what are we doing here? We are trying to find out why this is failing. Okay, so let's go to the web routes, and it is marketplace listing. Marketplace listing is request. Oh, right. This is going to be the marketplace listing ID is the request season no, the season ID is really what we're trying to send over there. So the season ID and redirect to, yeah, I think we're going to have to basically say, they're going to have to go back to the admin season with the season ID, season as the request season ID. Same with this. Try that. Attempted to read property ID on string. Okay, so request. Oh, right, because it's already the ID, because we're just literally passing it in as a string. We're not doing any route model binding there. Oh, that's something. List your open slots. Fantastic. Where are we here? We're at the marketplace checkout. So we're here. So are we not implementing that correctly? So we're not doing so we're just returning, oh, duh, return, dummy. Okay, let's try this again. Page you're not found. Okay, so checkout slubsquad.com/checkout. Okay, so I'm curious. So one of the things that could be causing this problem is that, so basically I just signed up for Lemon Squeezy just like last night or whatever, and it's still the weekend if you're watching this later. And so they can, like it says right here, like your request can take like 1 to 2 business days to be approved. So I'm wondering if that link is just not going to work until they actually approve it. I should be using the test API key, so it should theoretically work, but at this point, I don't know for a fact. I don't know enough about Lemon Squeezy to say like they just completely block you off until they've kind of reviewed your request. So I think this might be kind of dead in the water for now, until they kind of return their response kind of thing, like until they validate it. Croons. Right now I'm using Bootstrap for my projects, but I hear many good things about Tailwind, so I'm considering using Tailwind. Yeah, like I am a huge Tailwind proponent because it's to me, it's like Bootstrap, because everything is so opinionated, you can basically look at a site and just, you kind of know that it was made with Bootstrap because so many people just use the default components as they are, which is kind of what it's there for. It's to bootstrap a product. But on the flip side, you end up looking like everyone else. And so it's really hard to differentiate yourself between you and your competition or you and other websites, right? Tailwind doesn't have pre-built components like Bootstrap does. The closest they have is They have Tailwind UI, which is a set of pre-built components, but it's like a paid for product. They also have headless UI, which is kind of just the functionality of certain things. So like drop down menu, like better looking drop down menus, but they come with no styling. So it's still up to you to kind of style it how you want. So you at least don't have that same problem of looking like every other site out there that uses Tailwind, right? Like it's really kind of up to you to choose what the design of your site looks like. It just gives you the functionality to build the thing, right? Like you still have to figure out what it looks like, which is kind of my biggest criticism of Bootstrap, is that everything just ends up looking the same. So yeah, that's my little 1 minute spiel on Tailwind. Okay, so right now we're kind of stuck because there's really no easy way for us to know like the page you're looking for is not found. So this is a host name that I set up for them, this checkout.stubsquad.com. The product is set up correctly, I believe, right? Like it's there, it's published. So I would expect that like if I'm copying the variant ID, like and I did, like it should, if it was working, it would, is kind of what I'm getting at here, is like if, well, let's just try without this data just to see if there's an issue with the way we're sending the data. Okay, so list your open slots. Yeah, and so in fact, yeah, the page not found is basically just the checkout page on here. So this is them basically saying like, we don't even know you, kind of thing. And just to make sure, settings, domains, like, yeah, this is, it's there, kind of thing. It should be all fine. Like the DNS settings are verified. They created the SSL certificate because they do this part. So yeah, I think we're just kind of stuck until they either approve or deny our request, kind of thing. So I think let's go back to our Notion here for a second. So what can we do? Attribute is paid. Okay, so that we can do. We can add this attribute to the listing. And basically just so that people don't pay for the same thing, pay to relist if they've kind of deleted it either by accident or intentionally. If they've paid us $10, like they can relist it. I'm not super concerned about that. So let's get out of here, Vim. And so we will go to, okay, we can close this one. So we're going to say art, actually let's proper TDD it. So we're going to say art listing marketplace, ticket season marketplace listing. Yep. Ticket market listing test. And so we're going to say just put it here. It knows if it has been paid for already. We're going to say expect search is paid to be false, because that's going to be the default. And then we will do some kind of like ticket season marketplace listing mark as paid. And no, actually, no, sorry. What are we trying to do here? I'm going to say search mark as paid. So we'll have to write this function as well. And then we will say expect search paid to be true, right? Okay, so okay, so right, this is going to fail. Good. So we want to say what is the failure message? Starting null is false. Okay, so we want a listing factory. And so by default, is paid is going to be false. Okay, so that one's going to fail now because there's no field in the migration. So we will go to listing. Oh, we actually have to make a new migration here. Art, make migration, add is paid field to ticket season marketplace listings table. Table equals ticket season marketplace listings. Is paid, and we want to table Boolean is paid, default false, and then we also on drop we want to table drop column is paid. Yes. Okay, so this is going to work halfway. Call to undefined method, yeah, that's fine. So we're going to go to the listing, ticket marketplace listing, yep. And mark as paid. This is paid equals true. And then the save, yep. Cool, we have a way to track that kind of stuff now. So, yeah, I think we're just basically going to have to wait for Lemon Squeezy to get back to us about whether our shop has been approved or not. And if it has, then we can continue on with this process. I was kind of hoping to get everything done today, but I mean, we made a ton of progress. I mean, you look at Notion, look at all the check marks. I'm super excited about that. That one could be checked off too. Okay, so only requirement payment for an additional ticket season once. Okay, so that's technically done. The last thing is just like implement Lemon Squeezy flow. Okay. So let's review all of the things that we did today because we've been going for 3 hours. That's awesome. So we updated the warning to include that the full name will be sent with the email address. We wrote a bunch of tests to make sure, well, not a bunch, there was some already existing, but we wrote tests to make sure that the contact and edit links only show up for the applicable listings. So like if you're an admin, you can see the edit link. If you're logged in, you can see the contact link. And if you're neither, you can't see either, you can just see the listings. And we wanted to check for the specific URL and blah, blah, blah. We renamed the ticket season search model to ticket season marketplace listing. We're ensuring that on a ticket season delete, it cascades to the marketplace listing. We want to we added soft deletes to the listing. We're only displaying the listing if the ticket season hasn't started yet, which is good. And we're doing that using an event. We're tracking if someone has contacted the admin already so that the admin doesn't get spammed. And we're only requiring payment for an individual ticket season once. If it's been paid for once, it doesn't need to be paid for again to relist it. So actually, the last thing we can do, one final thing actually. So we'll go ticket season marketplace listing test. So it knows if it's been paid for already. So actually, we want is the admin season test. So where is, I think it's did we do it at the bottom here? Can remove the marketplace listing and admin can update the pics. So, okay, you know what? No, we're not going to do anything right now about that. I'm just thinking about like, what is it going to display on the admin season page if it's already been paid, but it's inactive? So we'll worry about that on another stream. So, because that's going to be a whole bunch more code. So we're going to say implement logic for when season is, or when listing is inactive, but paid. Cool. Okay. So yeah, so we've done a ton of work here. I just want to thank you guys for the conversations. It's been great. I really appreciate the back and forth. It always makes me happy to know that people are actually paying attention and watching and taking something from this, or laughing at me. That's fine too. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys again. I will be back probably sometime this week once we hear back from Lemon Squeezy, and we'll kind of continue on. Last question, Kroons. I just tuned in and was wondering what kind of application you're creating. So what this application is for is for, let's say you are a group of people that share season tickets to your favorite sports team. So let's say you all go in, you kind of pool your money, and you kind of divvy up the games based on like, and sorry, we will divvy up the games based on each person ranks each game based on how badly they want to go to it. So let's say there's two people in the group, and each person gets the tickets to half of the season. So each person goes in and ranks every single game based on how much they want to go to it. And then once everyone's kind of locked in those rankings, the person who's kind of created this season on our site can complete it. And then it starts divvying up the games based on who wanted which game more, is the easiest way to describe it. And so right now, the feature that we're adding is, so let's say you're a group of two people, but the tickets are getting really expensive and you want to bring in a third person or maybe a fourth person as well. So what this feature is it's allowing these groups of people to say, I'm going to place a listing, and I can even show you what one looks like. So the listing would look something like this. Oh, of course, it's not going to be there. It's basically a listing that says, hey, we are looking for people to join. And so it allows other people who are maybe interested in maybe joining a group to see those listings and, work with the people in this group to kind of facilitate that payment. We're not involved in that process other than just kind of like linking the two people together. It's up to them to kind of negotiate pricing and all that stuff. But basically, we just want to give people an easy way to find like fractional season ticket ownership, you could think of as kind of. So yeah, that's in a nutshell, that's what Stub Squad is. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so yeah, thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate the conversation, and we will be back at some point this week to finish off the Lemon Squeezy stuff. Hopefully they approve us, and if not, we will find a different provider that will allow us to transact our payments. So again, thank you so much for joining, and I will see you in the next one. Later.